your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Love it, man. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, six-time world champ, two-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me, and we're ready to do this thing. Coming to you from ESPN 905-925, as well as Podcast Heat. Guys, we doing it. We doing it. We doing it big. Bradley, how you doing, man? How you feel?
I'm doing good, Book. You know, we've been busy today, whether the people know it or not. You know, you and I are always working on something. This is one of our busier days, and I'm excited. If anybody's listening to this on the radio, for the podcast version of the Hall of Fame that's going to start going out Friday morning. So whenever you're listening to this, every Friday morning, the podcast edition of this show is going out. And Book, what's cool, can we tell the people that we have like certain things?
You know what? Look, bro, this show is all about the people. So make sure give the people what they want.
Well, I mean, but all I'm saying is that, you know, we're going to have some special guests joining us on the podcast only, right?
Yes.
Like there's going to be every week, we're going to have certain people on the show that are going to be joining us. And this week is no different. From the realm of entertainment, this is a big guest because I've been a fan of this guy pretty much my whole life. If you want to go back to Kings of Comedy Tour, if you want to go to Barbershop, even the Steve Harvey show back in the day. And one of our guests is going to be Cedric the Entertainer, talking about his brand new book. Yes, Cedric the Entertainer is going to be in the house. I don't know if I have the right soundboard up. He's going to be in the house. And also, we might as well throw the graphic up. The lovely NXT Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton, is going to be stepping inside the Hall of Fame, podcast exclusive, talking about her big match ahead of there you go. There we go. Ahead of next week.
I got that for you, Brad.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you very much so. And she's going to be coming inside the Hall of Fame before her big match with Becky Lynch next week. So we have Cedric the Entertainer and Tiffany Stratton on the very first podcast edition of the Hall of Fame on Podcast Heat. So we're excited about that.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Kings of Comedy was my stuff, man. I loved it. And to have, one of the original Kings step inside the Hall of Fame, get a little champagne, wishes and caviar dreams, man, it's going to be awesome. As well as watch Tiffany Stratton getting ready to do her thing coming up in just a few short days, stepping in the ring with, one of the best, the man, Becky Lynch.
Yeah, I mean, Becky, who started in the NXT back in the day, one of the original 4 horsewomen, and now she's going to be going up against the tippy top that NXT has to offer, Tiffany Stratton, who is somebody, in my estimation, Book, who really came out of, I don't want to say obscurity, but she came on the scene. Next thing I know, boom, she's the NXT Women's Champion. Boom, everybody's talking about Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah. I mean, she definitely wasn't one that I had my radar on or anything like that. She wasn't, somebody out there on the indies that was blowing it up or anything like that. But when she get in the ring, she performs very, very well. She seems to know all of the X's and O's. She seems to know exactly what she wanted as far as plotting her way to get to that next level. And that next level is something I think she's fit for. I mean, I think she's fit for the main roster. Not getting there too quickly, I think that's been a plus, just because one thing about this thing, man, preparation is the only luck you're ever going to have. And for someone like Tiffany Stratton coming from that gymnast background, not being one that's been at home, I like there again out there on the indies doing this, she needed that. But I think she's going to be ready and willing and able to, for the task at hand come Tuesday, but for that main roster when that time comes as well.
Oh, absolutely, man. And you could tell she got the whole package as far as, and I know we're going to talk to her inside the Hall of Fame, so people are going to hear the interview on the podcast, but just from the finishing move to the entrance, as soon as she walks through the curtain, you're ready to have a Tiffany epiphany.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As soon as she walks in the curtain. So
That's the only thing you're thinking about. You know what I mean? Scotty, you know. Because no, I mean she looks good. She checks off all the boxes as far as what you're looking for in a star. I mean, she really does. And the thing is, just I think for Tiffany, it's going to be not falling in those potholes along the way, knowing how to evade those certain obstacles, and then being able to go straight through those obstacles when the time comes as well. But I think she has all the talent in the world. If she could just keep her head on straight, she's going to be one of the greats. I really believe that.
I'm right there with you, Book. So you can hear both those interviews, Cedric the Entertainer and Tiffany Stratton on the Hall of Fame podcast. But BT, there's a lot of other things to get into, I know, today, but I do want to give a shout out real quick to our super chatters, all of our members of the channel. And Callie Tonio brought up something when we were talking about Becky Lynch. Did you hear that Becky isn't going to make the show in India because she went to the airport? Yeah, and had a tear in her passport, a small tear on the passport, and they say, we can't let you on the plane with this tear in your passport. Yeah. Yeah, and I looked it up, and it's something to do, like the law cites something about if it's not manipulated, but if it modified, if your passport is modified in any way, they consider it invalid. And I guess the tear in their mind is a modification.
Wow, that's big, man. That's huge. That's huge. But hey, it'll give Becky some time to prepare for that big match, man. She'll be more than ready for that contest on Tuesday night, because I think that's what you need to be prepared for. Like I said, preparation is the only luck you're gonna have. Stay at home. I mean, what was she on her way to?
India.
Man, I was in the hospital for a week after I came back from India, so it's good she stayed home. But nah, man, we do got some stuff going on. Reality Wrestling is going to be going down September 23rd, the next chapter. And guys, I am so excited because it's going to be the debut in our new enterprise, our new Row Arena. And we want all you guys to come out and check it out. It's going to be a great, great night of action. 9300 Emmett Elf Lowry Expressway. Do it! You guys would not be disappointed. We got a huge main event stepping up this show coming from NXT. One of the best mass superstars out there, Axiom, is going to be taking on Charlie Dempsey. These guys got a rivalry going all the way back to NXT UK, and now they're bringing it to Reality of Wrestling, and they're going to settle it once and for all. September 23rd, don't miss out. Don't get shut out on that. As well as G.G. Ray versus my girl, the one, Promise Braxton. And I'm going to tell you right now, ain't nobody better than Promise Braxton. And I think Jacob Fatu will be making his way back to Reality of Wrestling as well. If you haven't heard about Jacob Fatu, if you haven't seen Jacob Fatu, guys, go to the internet, go to YouTube, check out this
Samoan werewolf.
He is one of the best. But I've been getting a lot of calls. People have been hitting us up, asking us, about Zilla Fatu and when they were going to see him again. Honestly, I can't tell you when you're going to see Zilla Fatu again, because he is now no longer a part of Reality of Wrestling due to irreconcilable differences. Let's just put it that way. But I'm sure he's taking bookings out there on the internet, and we wish Zilla Fatu well, on his future. But like I say, guys, you don't want to miss out on this show. It's going to be one of the best shows of the year. Axiom versus Charlie Dempsey inside the middle of that square circle. The next chapter, oh yes, is going down. But we got to take a quick break. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Can you dig it, sucker? And this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, you remember when you was always ready to go? I'm talking about strapping the rocket on it, man. Going straight to the moon. I'm talking about getting it done. If you want that extra confidence, I got something for you. Listen up. BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost.
But the great thing, Book, is you can take it any time, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
The best part, guys, it's all done online on the internet. So there's no doctor's visit, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy or any of that.
And the thing is, Book, Blue Chew's tablets, they're made right here in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package, so no one is the wiser.
You know, let's just get it out there, guys. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. It's like this. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, you know, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Oh man, yeah, you better do it. You better do it. You better do it quick because it will. Hey man, strap the rocket on. Hey man, hey, how you feeling, man? What are you talking about?
I'm just reacting to the chat. The chat is great. Big Breezo says this is the best commercial. JRWIZZ says, yo, Blue Chew is the real deal. Callie Toenail says, arises. Kappa Owen says, Book said, strap a rocket on your little fella. And then JRW comes back and says, makes that thing harder than a skyscraper.
Hey, man,
Agent 002 says, Blue Chew, can you dig that? To it and do it. BlueChew.com.
Hard enough to cut diamonds, man. Oh, man, make sure you use promo code, guys. Make sure you use promo code.
Yeah, chew it and do it. Promo code Booker T at Blue Chew for our podcast listeners. That's for our podcast listeners. But you know what, BT, what is also funny is, I guess, because we've done reality wrestling, we've done this show together for so long. Sometimes I forget how far, your reach is. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when the documentary dropped and you were getting like shout outs from all these kind of people, like Rick Ross was hitting you up and, Lil Scrappy's a big fan. There's certain people, but it's just interesting because the people who are famous now, I don't know if you ever thought of this, the people who are famous now, I'm talking about in their late 20s to mid 30s, all of those people who are famous now all watched wrestling in the big boom when you were on top in WCW and WWF. And everybody who's a kid watches wrestling. It's impossible. You cannot escape it, especially in that time. Because you had, you, Rock, Austin, everybody knows the Attitude Era guys. We were talking about Trish Stratus and Tori Wilson, Stacy Keibler. There were a lot of reasons for young men to watch, but young women watched as well. And I was watching an interview with our good friend, Peter Rosenberg. What's up, Pete? He had on a pretty big name in the world of music, Cardi B, right? Cardi B, who, by the way, if you've never listened to her album, Invasion of Privacy, it's more than just the song that everybody thinks about. It's more than WAP. She actually has a really good first album. She was being interviewed, and we know that she's a wrestling fan. We've talked about this before. Peter Rosenberg asked her about would she be involved in wrestling in any way? And can I just play what she had to say?
Yeah.
Here's what Cardi B had to say on Hot 97, Ebro in the Morning.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
I feel like every few months you end up mentioning like your old school love of WWE in some way. It comes up, you shout out Jeff Hardy or this one or that one. WrestleMania 40, Philadelphia. Will we ever get Cardi B in WWE in any way, in a match, as a manager, in any way?
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny is out here having full-on 5-star matches.
Yeah, that
jumping though off them ropes. Like he jumping off them ropes. Honey.
Would you ever do?
I just told you that my body got up after the second one. I told you the second one me up.
So no wrestling matches in your future.
I mean, I would love to attend. I don't know what to do. Like I don't know if I have to perform or slap a but like I want to go. Like I have to fulfill like some type of dream.
Oh, we have to make this happen. Yeah. I would like to be the conduit to make this happen. Let's make this happen.
It's just like I used to love wrestling. I used to be crazy for it.
Who was your all-time favorite?
It was a couple. Like Batista was like one of my favorites.
Right.
Because he was like so handsome.
You loved Eddie Guerrero, right?
I love Eddie Guerrero. Yeah. I know. I used to love Booker T. I used to, and like even when I was little, like when the Undertaker used to come out, like my dumbass really thought that he was a ghost. Like I really thought that was real. Like he was coming from the dead. Like oh
Wow.
That's Cardi B talking about her wrestling fandom, mentioning you as one of her favorites, which she's been very consistent with over the years. First of all, what do you think of the clip? And then I got a follow-up question for you.
Nah, man. I'm always flattered. I'm always humbled also when something like that happened because you know me, I always say, this thing is about staying relevant, and sometimes it takes someone else to keep you relevant. Like Bad Bunny, doing the song, like Cardi B mentioning me, and then people seeing me out there still doing my thing. So I'm humbled. I really am when I see stuff like that.
It is wild that Cardi B, whether people like it or not, and I know people in the chat probably are like, oh my God, Cardi B, keep her all the way. You know how wrestling fans can be. But when I see somebody like that who's a legit fan, you know what I mean? Like she's a legit wrestling fan from back in the day. I think it's always great to involve people like that in pro wrestling. Like I think it's just a great thing to have. Like you said, with Bad Bunny doing it before, even with Johnny Knoxville when he was around, anytime somebody's actually a fan, go back to when Mike Tyson came in for WWF. Or we just saw Dennis Rodman last week doing some stuff in the ring. When Dennis was coming to WCW, he was great. Yeah. Dennis Rodman was great at this stuff.
Karl Malone as well.
Karl Malone. I mean, there's been LT. There's been so many celebs who come in and actually love the craft, love what wrestling does, and just want to be a part of it. She even said, look, I don't know what I want to do. Maybe I'll just sit in the audience, but I want to do something. And I think Cardi B at WrestleMania
don't get no bigger.
Doing something.
It don't get no bigger. I mean, I say let her perform, man. Let her do one of them songs, man. Walk out with one
her
of
and
them
Megan
outfits.
Thee Stallion. Oh yeah, I know. Her and Megan Thee Stallion. They got a new record coming out called Bongos. You can only imagine what this is about.
Yeah. I can only
Bongos
imagine.
about to be a lot of shaking.
When the video coming out?
That's tomorrow.
That's what I'm waiting on.
I'm with you, man. I don't get mad at it. Man.
No, heck no. I gotta see the video, man. It's definitely gonna be good. But no, man, like I said, I'm humble when I see stuff like that. Yeah, when I see entertainers and people that I've grew up watching, and then like they know who I am. It's kind of crazy. So I'm always the one to peach myself and go, wow, am I, I did something right. I just look at it that way.
I did have a question for you about celebrities who came in. What did the locker room think? Because we mentioned a lot of guys who came in who were big time fans. They did real good work when they were over in WCW or WWF. What did the boys think back in the day in WCW when Jay Leno came in? Was it like, oh, this is cool, the host of the Tonight Show is going to wrestle Hogan? Or was it like, okay, we've jumped the shark here? Leno?
I think that was one, that was a little bit tilting over the, don't do side. You know what I mean? We, should stay away from side. I don't think a lot of people, I mean, me personally, I didn't think a whole lot about it as far as having Jay Leno a part of the show, especially in the ring doing anything. Just didn't think that did anything for our business. Just like it did, I mean, just like a lot of other guys, I mean, when David Arquette got in there, it wasn't something that was, I think the wrestlers really wanted to see, but that's what they wanted to do. And I just think WCW didn't utilize, certain stars the proper way, unlike WWE did.
Well, so you're saying WWE always used the outside guys better
I think so. I
WCW, is that what you're saying?
think they know how to choose the one that should be in the ring performing, opposed to WCW having certain people in the ring like Marcus Bagwell's mom, like Vince Russo, like Jay Leno, people like that. I mean, I can see Karl Malone and I can see Dennis Rodman doing it because they're athletes, and we can kind of like work around, everything that they do bad and just, figure out what they can go in there and do good. So I can see that. But certain people, I just feel like WWE didn't put certain people in certain positions. I look at then people can say, well, what about Johnny Knoxville? Johnny Knoxville, I'd say that's an anomaly because he was out there with the right person, doing it.
Yeah, Sammy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what was great, this is why I didn't have a problem with Knoxville, because Knoxville, he lived it for a couple months, right? He went on Howard Stern, was promoting the match, promoting Austin Theory. Like, look, Howard Stern's still the #1 most listened to radio show in the world, and Austin Theory got a name drop on there, right? Sami Zayn got a name drop on there. That's a big deal, and so while I saw Johnny doing that, I'm like, oh, props to Knoxville. He's a real one.
Not just that, Johnny Knoxville has fallen off stuff that would kill most people.
He got hit by a bull. Have you ever seen him get hit by the bull?
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm talking about. When a person,
no, but have you ever seen the bump he took?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I'm serious.
Oh my God, man!
For a person to do that kind of stuff right there, it's like a stunt, man. He's willing to get beat up. So I can see him actually kind of in there doing it, more so than Jay Leno. Nothing against Jay Leno or anything. Cause I love Jay Leno.
Oh no, Jay Leno's a great dude, but it's just like, yeah, you could have used Jay. I mean, maybe even as a special guest ref.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point. Exactly my point. And I know we got to take a quick break, guys. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Hey, man, NXT ratings up again. What do you think NXT ratings going to be up after? How far they're going to be up after this next Tuesday, with the main event being Tiffany Stratton and the man Becky Lynch stepping inside the arena? Man, it's going to be off the chains. What do you think about it, man? What do you think about that?
I have a prediction of a number, and I really have nothing to base this on, but this is just a number that popped in my head. I wanted to go north of 900, but I don't want to be overzealous. Like I think that's possible, but I'm going to go 860. 860 is my number. I think 860,000 people are going to watch that show.
I'm going to go 820.
820? I'm going to write these down so we remember. 860 and 820.
I'm going to go 820. I think we were up to like, what, 7?
About 700.
Yeah. I'm thinking 820. I'm going to go on the lower side. But 820 will be the best number, I think, NXT has gotten from overall perspective, if they can pull something off like that. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think Tiffany Stratton and Becky Lynch is definitely a match that going to be highly anticipated as far as people wanting to see it. And for me to be right there with the best seat in the house, it's going to be good. It's going to be damn good.
Oh, it's going to be awesome to see. I mean, that's one that I would love to watch in person. to see Tiffany Stratton take on Becky Lynch. I guess if you had to give a comparison for your own career, because it's the biggest match in Tiffany's career, in my opinion, to this point, as far as you have it, Becky Lynch, people forget, pre-pandemic was the biggest star in the company. The biggest. Nobody had better merch numbers, bigger segment ratings, bigger match hype around her than Becky Lynch. She was on what was the name of that show? Billions. She was popping up in mainstream media. Who do you think would be that comparison for you? Like where you were at your point in Tiffany Stratton's career, who was your Becky Lynch? Who was the first big match you can remember?
Ric Flair, Saturday night, main event, center stage, right there on Peachtree Boulevard, Atlanta, Georgia. I remember like the back of my head is like seared in my brain. And like I say, certain things in this business you really don't remember unless you felt a certain way about it. And I remember, getting the nod to be able to wrestle Ric Flair, singles match. On Saturday night, it was like, wow, I made it. How is this happening? And the thing is, I just like Tiffany, I knew it wasn't because of me this match was happening. Other than, Rick wanted to test me and see just how good I was. He wanted to get in the ring with me, get his hands on me. And that right there, I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And I'm sure Tiffany is feeling the exact same way that I felt going into that matchup, maybe even more so.
Yeah, it's got to be a big match that we're going to see. And I think it's going to, I'm telling you, 860. And I love people in the chat. If you can put in what you think it's going to be, or you can tweet us if you're listening to this later at Brad Gilmore, at Booker T5X on X, or you can hit us up on Instagram or here on the channel. But I just think that we've talked about this for the last couple of weeks, having main roster talent come and work on NXT sporadically. Like you had Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker for the World Heavyweight title. Now you've got Becky Lynch, Tiffany Stratton for the NXT Women's Championship. Not only does it do well for the show, but the amount that the talent can learn just from being in the ring for 6-7 minutes with somebody like that, 8 minutes, 15 minutes, how much you can learn in that short amount of time where you had those light bulb moments, right? I mean, I remember you telling me your match with Killer Tim Brooks, you had a couple light bulb moments. You had a match with Ricky Steamboat where the lights were going off and you're like, I get this, And what was the thing with you and Taker? Y'all sat at a bar one day and just said, why did it take us so long to figure this out?
Yeah.
But having those moments they're key for anybody in their career.
Yeah, they're definitely a huge part of my memories as far as like I say, working Savage, working Perfect, Kurt Hennig. That's what I'm talking about. Certain matches, they just stick out, and a lot of them, like Steamboat, I didn't have to say one word. All I had to do was just listen and just take it in. It was like on the job training, sucking in all the knowledge that you possibly can within that 15, 20, with Steamboat, it was like 22 minutes or something like that. And I walked away from those matches learning more than I ever could in any wrestling school, so I'm sure Tiffany's going to find herself in that same position with Becky, because Becky is going to do certain things a little bit different than all of the girls that she's worked up until this point. And it's going to come a time where she's not going to be able to know it. She's just going to have to be able to feel it, and that's the part I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, the feel of it, and we're going to see it. So again, that's going to be NXT this upcoming weekend. And Book, we have some super chats. I do want to get to them here in a moment, but we were talking about ratings, and I wanted to get into this conversation with you because AEW Collision on Saturday. This is the same show that was before. There's the go-home show before AEW All Out. This is the show where they started with Tony Khan announcing the firing or the termination with cause of Phil CM Punk Brooks. They're in Chicago at the United Center. This is also a show that featured Dennis Rodman in his first return to the United Center, I think in 7 years. This is where he won all those championships with the Bulls. Big show. Well, this comes from the ratings report this week. Saturday night's episode of AEW Collision's average was 345,000 viewers on TNT, down 37.5% from the previous week, the lowest audience total the show has drawn in its history. 37% of the people.
Wait a minute. Let's say existence. Let's not say history.
In its existence.
Yeah, it hadn't been around long enough to have history a part of it.
Okay, yes.
Okay, right?
Yeah, agreed. So this is the lowest in its existence. 345,000 viewers. I read somewhere, I'm trying to find the exact rating. At one point, the show only had about 250,000 people watching. It only had 144,000 people in the 18 to 49 demographic, which is something that was a lot. They say here the last Punk-centered Collision drew 552,000 viewers, meaning that while the time will tell how much of this was due to people not tuning in after Punk's firing, Collision shed over 200,000 viewers after showing the two-time AEW World Champion the door, a 38% decline. That's a number that you're concerned about. 38%, that's concerning.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that show has been dropping since the exception, right? You know,
yeah, it's ebbed and flowed, but for the most part, it's gone down. I think I have the ratings right here.
I think the last two ratings that went out, I think they were in the threes, like 376, and now three. I mean,
well, so here is I can give you August, the 1st of August into the 1st of September.
Okay.
Yeah, first week of August, you had 417. Then you went to 476. Then you went to 482. Then you went to 552, all of which increasing. And then from 552 the previous week to this last week, 345,000.
Yeah.
That's concerning.
Yeah, it's very concerning. And I've been hearing a lot of people say, well, maybe put Daniel Bryan in that spot and he can right the ship, I mean, and the thing is, I love Daniel Bryan. He's a good guy. But I don't know if anybody's going to be able to right that ship from that perspective, just because, it's a Saturday night show and a lot of people just ain't staying up to watch wrestling on Saturday night when they're out there partying and whatnot. I mean, it's really a bad night for wrestling, as well as the way it was structured. With certain guys could be on the show, certain guys couldn't be on the show. I think that kind of like handpicked them, put them in a position where, they only had so much to work with. So I don't know if that show is going to last too much longer. I do know they're spending money to make it happen. I know that show is not happening, for free or anything like that. So I don't know. CM Punk definitely, if that many people dropped off, CM Punk was definitely a part of that viewers base that was watching the show.
So that's what I was going to ask you. Do you think this is all CM Punk related, or do you think it's college football's in full swing now, as some of the chat is pointing out? There was a WWE show that same night, to be fair. But they say right after Khan made the announcement, almost 90,000 people dipped.
Look, I mean, we all know CM Punk has his fans. We all know. I mean, you say something. I said the smallest little bit of things, from a constructive aspect about CM Punk. And CM Punk fans that just come after me, like with razor's edge. You know what I mean? Daggers, just wanting to kill me. So CM Punk got an abundance of fans out there. I'm sure CM Punk being fired from AEW is going to affect them in some way, in some form. Just because they had always been trying to, crash that million ceiling, and they did it a couple of times, and I think they did it with CM Punk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I think CM Punk even said they drew their biggest house on his back.
First $1 million gate, to use his words. Yeah,
right. So I think it's going to be a significant drop off without CM Punk. How big? We're going to find out. Tony Khan backed himself into this situation, though. I mean, I don't think Tony Khan has anybody to blame but himself, not throwing any, not trying to, bring Tony Khan, but he backed himself into this situation. hiring CM Punk, pretty much giving him the keys to the castle and saying, man, whatever you want, because we're looking for ratings. We need the ratings. And he got what he paid for. It's just that simple.
I agree with you, but I think we got to take a break here, Book.
Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Hey, Book, our next sponsor of the Hall of Fame podcast is AG1, the daily foundational nutritional supplement that supports whole body health. I drink it literally every day, and I know you're drinking it too.
Yeah, man. I received the box in the mail, and I said, what is this? And it said AG1. And let me give you a little testimony. I'm a coffee drinker. I've been a coffee drinker every morning for about 25 years. And I drink a big cup of coffee on the way to the airport, and I get on my flight, and I still go to sleep. So I realized coffee is not helping me at all. So I say, let me try the AG1. I stopped drinking coffee literally 2 weeks ago, and I drink the AG1 in the morning, first thing. And the first thing I want to do is get in the gym and train. The body transformation has been unbelievable. The energy I have going into my daily routine has been off the chain. So I'm a believer. I'm a believer in AG1.
And Book, for me, I was sick of taking multivitamins every day, and I wanted something that was an all-in-one. And with AG1, it's just a scoop in my water every morning. I mix it up, and it's a foundational nutritional supplement that delivers comprehensive nutrients to the whole body. And for me, the benefits of AG1, I can tell you I have more energy, I have better digestion, better gut health, I have more support for mental clarity and focus. I'm locked in for the whole day since I've been drinking AG1.
And they say LeBron James spent $1.5 million a year on his body. You don't have to do that, guys. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Guys, go to drinkag1.com/Booker. That's drinkag1.com/Booker. Check it out. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Got everything going over here. What, man?
It's just that what's awesome. People don't realize, and it doesn't matter, but it's just we have so many things. I'm not trying to like self-aggrandize or anything. Trust me, but just there's been so much happening the last like 3 days. Just for this show, for Reality of Wrestling, for other stuff that we might be going and doing. We announced that we're going to be sitting with the Trill OG himself, Bun B, at Trill Burgers. Next week, we're going to be doing our live Hall of Fame from Trill Burgers with Bun B himself, which is crazy for me because I've had the opportunity to meet Bun several times and gotten to know him just a little bit. But, he's still the UGK for me growing up was such a massive influence on me musically and just me personally, listening to Riding Dirty, one of the best albums of all time, listening to Pocket Full of Stones with Pimp C, both of Bun B albums, International Players Anthem, which is the greatest rap song of all time, and getting to sit down in his establishment and see him break it down for us in person. I have so many like rap nerd questions I want to ask him. And he's been one that's eluded me because you've interviewed Bun one time before, but it was actually before I was involved with the show. Right. So I've never gotten to interview Bun B, and I've always wanted to sit down and chop it up with him on air. So I'm really excited about that. So there's just so much going on. So much going on.
I'm excited to get another one of them Trill Burgers myself.
It lives up to the hype, huh?
I'll tell you, man, that Trill Burger, man, it's Trill. It's Trill as it can be. I'm serious. And I'm not one to, brag, want for, a burger like that. But I'm going to tell you, man, I can't wait to get back over there next week. We're going to be hanging with Bun, and it's going to be an awesome, awesome day to just actually sit down and kick it with Bun. But more importantly, I got to get me one of them burgers, man. I got to get me one of them double cheeseburgers. They're good, bro. They're damn good.
Look, I told you this. I drive by Trill Burgers like pretty much every day. And the line is always out the door and around the block in the sun. I'm talking about 101 outside. They got tents. People are spritzing themselves with water. They want the burger, man.
It's just all they want is a burger. That's all. It's crazy. It's nuts. But big ups. Big ups to Bun B, what he's created and having that entrepreneurial spirit to go out there and do it his own way. That's what's really, really cool, giving so many young people that inspiration to be able to go out there and live this life, because life could really be good. But you got to work your behind off in certain situations. That's just the facts.
Yeah, man. And he's done it. And he's a guy who you've always talked about, like in wrestling, you always wanted to make the transition, like what was going to happen after the ring. And so many people don't have that foresight. And Bun, similar to you, has always been a guy in a couple ways. He's always given back to the younger generation, always looked out for people coming up in the city, but also figured out how to diversify himself. Hey, I'm going to be a proprietor of hamburgers. I'm going to be a professor at Rice University talking about hip hop and culture, things of that nature, man.
What it is? He's transcended past that rapper. That's all. I've transcended past the wrestler. I loved my career. I loved what I did, and back in the day. But you don't see me living on what I did in the past. I ain't got time to talk about what I did in the past. And that's the same way with Bun. I don't see Bun thinking about what he did back in the day with his boys. You got to be able to get past that in order to become a grown man. You really do, in order to be able to see that true light. You got to be able to get past that. And for Bun, I'm just happy to see him doing what he's doing, and I'm happy to be where I'm at. And I'm happy now we can collaborate and do everything we possibly can for the city, for the H.
Putting it on, man. Putting it on. We do have a couple super chats here, but before we get to them, we were talking about the impact of CM Punk. Maybe on ratings in AEW. I have to ask you this, because we talked about the possibility, and it made headlines, of CM Punk coming back to the WWE. And as soon as one person leaves from the company, that's the first thing that people are going to say. Well, what if he comes back? What if he comes back? Now, apparently, this is all reported.
Wait. Before you even get to that part right there, before you get there, we got to talk about the 250K collision, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people say it was because of Ace Steel being fired. Do you have any news reports on that?
As far as the ratings go, no, but this is a story from our friends over there at SE Scoops, who says that Ace Steel gone from AEW following CM Punk's departure.
Oh, he didn't get fired. He just gone.
Well, they say gone. I don't think that he decided to not take the money. I think that this is coming from, let's see, All Elite Wrestling's firing CM Punk has left fans wondering what will happen to his friend and AEW producer Ace Steel. However, Mike Johnson of PW Insider, by the way, I met Mike not too long ago, actually a really good dude, reports that the company has also parted ways with Ace Steel. Steel still had a year left on his AEW.
Can somebody please
contract.
find out, for me, what is Ace Steel's real name? Because that can't be it. It can't be Ace Steel. Nobody mom names him Ace Steel. Okay, because somebody help me out with that. Because that is
Ace Steel. Ace Steel. Let's see. Born American pro wrestler. Born Christopher Guy.
Okay, that's better. That's better. Christopher Guy is no longer a part of AEW. That sounds better for me than Ace Steel, because Ace Steel sounds like a comic book character, right?
It does sound like a comic book character. Now, here's something. I don't know really anything about Ace Steel other than I think he had a hand in training CM Punk, I believe, is what their relationship is. And I think he trained Cole Cabana as well. Ace Steel, though, apparently, according to Wikipedia, was trained. Now, this is a nice group of people who trained this man. William Regal, Fit Finley, Dave Taylor, and Harley Race trained Ace Steel.
What does all those four guys have in common?
They got championship names.
It's just got regular names.
William, Fitz.
Yeah.
You don't meet too many Fitz.
Well,
Dave and Harley.
I mean, Fit is an Irish name.
Perhaps.
Probably a lot of Irishmen named Fit.
A lot of Irishmen. There could be. I have no idea.
I'm sure it is.
Well, someone in the chat, and I want to clear this up because anytime I have
his real name is David Fit Finley.
That's right, Dave Finley.
Yeah. So
let me ask you this, because people always think this because Wikipedia. That's why I say it's on Wikipedia. I never know if it's real or not. People always get hot about this because someone in the chat right now is saying, "Well, what are you talking about? Booker T isn't your real name." Now, do you want to clear this up for the people here? Do you want to tell people what is your name?
My real name is
your
Booker
real
T.
name.
My real name is Booker T. My dad's name was Booker T. Okay, so this is not a gimmick name that I have gone around with for the last 30 years of the business. This is my real name. That's why I own it. That's why I can go out and make money off of it, because it's my real name.
Right.
Unlike most.
And, unlike most. Now, so online, a lot of people think that your name is Robert.
Yeah, that's a screw up. That's a screw up online where people say my name is Robert. I don't know where that
Robert
comes from.
T.O.
Robert T.O. And I don't know where the T.O. come from either, but that's a typo. That's a mess up as far as Wikipedia goes. But on my birth certificate, it says Booker T, and the T has no nothing but a period behind it. Huffman. That's it. Booker T. Huffman Jr. That is.
Yeah, it's not Robert T.O. Huffman.
No.
And the thing is, people are gonna be like, "Oh, he's working me." No, like I've had to book travel, for us, like to Vegas and places like that. And I've seen your passport. I've seen the airline ticket. His name is Booker T. Leave this man alone. His name's not Robert T.O.
WWE, I've been, paying me under Booker T for all these years too. So I don't know. I don't know where that come from though.
Hey, can we actually though, next time we are stumped at Reality of Wrestling when we have a new talent and we're trying to come up with a good name for them, can we call them like Robert T.O. or T.O. Roberts or something like that, just so we can give that name some run, like actually make it something? Like, actually, no, T.O. Roberts is somebody who wrestles for us.
And that sounds actually pretty good.
T.O. Roberts isn't bad.
That's a championship name. Let's put it to work.
Well, so by the way, so Ace Steel seems to be gone from AEW.
Yeah, he's finished. He's wrapped.
Yeah, I think that he was only there because Punk was there. I mean, they go back. They're buddies. It doesn't shock. Does it shock you that he's gone from AEW?
Does it shock me?
Yeah.
No, not at all. I mean, I don't think Ace Steel would have ever been there if it wasn't for CM Punk. Like I said, I have nothing against Ace Steel. I don't know him or anything like that.
I don't either.
I mean, I'm just making fun as far as the name go. But like I said, I do think the name is kind of funny for employment purposes. If you're not, no, I'm serious. If you're not on the roster, why would you be calling yourself Ace Steel? That's just strange to me. That's just strange to me.
Well, and I know we got to take a break here in a second, but Ace Steel was big mad that Punk kept getting in these fights. He's like, "Hey, man, bro, I got a job here, man. Can you stop?"
Yeah.
I got bills.
There's a lot of rumor going out there right now. There's still a lot of rumor as far as, people like Edge maybe making the jump, all kind of stuff. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Let me tell you something, Cowboys. Trick wins have never been outnumbered. Look at me, I'm 6'4", 235. Got 8 ass, 3 chains, 2 women, and 2 people can't go up and down the ring. You Cowboys better do the math.
Those stats do not lie.
205 pounds on WWE. I don't believe it. And you, dressed in your leather, and your bedazzles, and your white shoes.
You do not.
And all the way
Oh, here we go. He said it earlier. Texas-sized ass whooping. It's now Trick Williams with that pop-up uppercut.
Yeehaw! Rhinestone Cowboy, here we go!
Trick kick connects to JP Harlow.
Thank you kindly, Trick Williams. Woohoo!
Trick Williams making quick work of JP Harlow and Joey Hyder. As he's right, we still got our main event going on. Coming up next.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We just chopping it up, talking everything sports and entertainment right here inside the Hall of Fame, where you get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams, man. But it's a whole lot of rumors still. What? It's a whole lot of rumors still going on out there about Edge maybe jumping ship. Me personally, I don't know if it's any truth in that or anything like that. But I know Tony Khan. You know, he's known to write big checks.
Big ones, big
You know what I mean? So if it's if it's money we talking, hey, Tony Khan can make that happen. So if that's the case, it could happen.
Well, let's pontificate on it for a moment, because I feel like the three biggest free agents currently in pro wrestling are Mercedes Moné.
Moné. We gotta get Moné on the show.
You want to get Moné on the show?
So get Moné. Send her tweet it. Send her X.
We'll send her an X.
Slide in the XMs.
Slide in the XMs. For Mercedes Moné. By the way, her theme song is jamming. The Moné theme song, you've heard it. Moné, it's jamming.
I think I might have heard it. I just haven't really listened to it.
And her entrance at New Japan, that first one, yeah, it was so cool. It was so cool. But so Mercedes Moné, one of the big free agents, and then we have CM Punk is one of the big free agents right now, and then we have Edge, right? And I want to talk about the names that are available. So we know Punk isn't going to AEW. He just wrapped up business there. It looks like Mercedes probably on her way in, which is going to be a big boost for that women's division because she's awesome. So it leaves Edge out there. Edge, I know, posted a video saying he's still thinking about his decision. He's got a renewal in his inbox from WWE. It would be, we'd be remiss to not bring up two things about Edge and AEW. Beforehand, he had an offer from AEW to come in, and then that's when he called WWE, and he went from being on the no-touch list to being on the Royal Rumble. When he got that call, what? You got a call? Sign him to a contract. Do it now. You know, I don't know who would have said that, but that's what happened. And then now he's up for renewal. There's all these rumors out there about Edge. His value to AEW since the CM Punk firing has only gone up, right? It's only gone up. Now, if you're WWE, do you top whatever AEW is offering in order to keep him in the family? And if you're Edge, I know you mentioned before the money is a big motivator, but is that when you're at this stage of your career, don't you want to leave where really your bones were made? Don't you want to retire as Edge and not whatever they're going to call him in AEW? Angle? I don't know. I don't know what they call you in AEW. Adam, I guess you go by Adam Copeland. What do you think, Book?
Yeah, you know, I see this the way I saw it more than 20 years ago. You got to be able to take the hit sometime. You got to be able to let these guys go. You know, you just can't pay them what they want, you know, just because you can. I really feel like, you know what? I really feel like, and I said this, you know, back then, I felt like that was a big part of WWE's master plan, was to let WWE pick up all of those salaries, pay all of that money, and nothing really changed other than them paying out money at the end of the day. And I think Tony Khan spent a boatload of money on CM Punk. Hopefully he got it back in merchandise, you know, and whatnot. But that's a whole lot of money. And just think about this. Think about 10 CM Punks and 10 salaries, going out and then you producing and getting the same exact thing. So, I could see it happening. I could see Edge going over. I really could. I could see that happening because, sometimes you got to be able to take the hit in order to, make it a little bit heavier for the other side. It's like a tennis player playing five. They play 5 sets. And sometimes, I was just listening to, one of the great tennis players a couple of nights ago, and he was talking about sometimes you have to give up rounds, just to, get through those 5 sets. Sometimes you got to, orchestrate, meticulate, make your way through, these peaks and valleys in order to get through those 5, because it's 5 hours. We're going to be playing for 5 hours. So sometimes you got to be able to give up a little bit in order to get a little bit. And I think that's what WWE did back in the day, letting all of those guys go. And they went over to WCW. It was guys over in WCW making $250,000 a year, and they didn't even work any house shows. They didn't even have to show up. They were just on the roster. And right now, AEW got a bunch of guys that's just on the roster.
Yeah.
So I could actually see that happening.
It would be something to see for Edge to come over there. I would feel, though, if you're going to make that big of an investment, you got to do it in somebody who not only has the name value, but is going to be around a minute. I mean, Edge he's already said, at the crowd in Toronto a few months back, like, I'm not going to see the next leg of this tour. Now, he might have said that because, hey, I'm not coming back to WWE, but it sounds like he's wrapping things up. And look, if he's satisfied with the match with Sheamus on SmackDown and going out like that and his anniversary of Edge and everything, more power to him. He's got nothing left to prove. But there is money on the table that he wasn't making for 7 years. And trying to make as much money of that back as he can, I get it. Do I think that Edge ends up in AEW? If I had to bet on it, I say no. Do I think that all this talk about Edge being in AEW is out there accidentally? I would say no. Do I think he could be pulling a Brock and say, when every time Brock his contract was coming up, he's like, I'm going to go back to the UFC and fight in the UFC. All of a sudden, they're like, give him a new contract, right? Is that the case is going on? If I was a betting man, I would say yes, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just an observer.
It's a possibility. It's a possibility. But I do know one thing. Money talks, man. Money talks. And if you're just sitting at home, it's a check out there that you can go and get. You go get it, man. That's just the way life is. It's just human nature. Nothing more. It's just human nature. So I'm not going to sit here and bet either way or anything like that. But I do know, if anybody can make it happen, it's the con man.
Con man. Well, he definitely can make it happen. And you know what? Tony has gotten a lot of slack from people, over the last several years. Some of it's earned, some of it's probably overdone. But what he did with CM Punk, like we talked about last week or last episode, I mean, he did something he knew was going to hurt him in the short term to help him in the long run, as far as locker room relations, banding together, all that nature. But I will say this, when there's been a free agent on the market, he has figured out how to get him. When Christian came up and was a free agent, he got him. When Daniel Bryan was a free agent, he got him. When Mox was on his way out, got him. CM Punk, got him. Cesaro, got him. If they're out there, he's pretty good. I don't know what he says to these guys other than the money, but
look here. That's all he got to say is the money. You got Sting. Don't forget about Sting.
You got Sting. Jericho.
So you think those guys went over there to be friends or to be buddies? If we happen to be friends and we happen to be buddies, okay, great. But just make sure a check comes along with that at the same time. Because I'm here to do a job. I'm here to do that job well. And all of those guys definitely has contributed to keeping that company alive, especially Chris Jericho, especially Steve. So pay those guys.
I was about to say Jericho. Are you surprised, Chris Jericho, where he is in his career right now, or is this something that doesn't surprise you at all? He's still working at a high level. He just wrestled in front of 80,000 people with Will Ospreay, one of the top stars in the business outside of WWE, putting on big matches, making big money, touring the world in his band. Does this shock you at all?
Not really. You know what I mean? One thing about Chris Jericho, he's young at heart. He's one of those guys that's got a lot of life in him and a lot of zeal for, just being here and having that, that buzz, throughout. He's just that type of guy. Loves life. I'm not surprised at all. Still wrestling. I'm kind of surprised that, Chris is still wrestling, but I'm not at the same time because, like I say, he's still young at heart. A lot of guys lose that drive to, be able to get up and go out there and do it like they did it every time they went out there before. I always say with wrestling fans, it's got to be like the first time that they've seen you ever, every time you walk out. And Chris Jericho gives the fans that feeling every time he walks out, like, it's the first time, we're going to sing this song like it's the first time we've ever sang it, so I'm not surprised just because Chris Jericho has always been that overachiever. He's always been that guy to go the extra mile, and he's always been just that damn good. That's why Chris Jericho is still at the top of his game. Hey guys, we got to take another break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Can you dig it, sucker? And this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, you remember when you was always ready to go? I'm talking about strapping the rocket on it, man. Going straight to the moon. I'm talking about getting it done. If you want that extra confidence, I got something for you. Listen up. Blue Chew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost.
But the great thing, Book, is you can take it any time, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
The best part, guys, it's all done online on the internet. So there's no doctor's visit, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy or any of that.
And the thing is, Book, Blue Chew's tablets, they're made right here in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package, so no one is the wiser.
Let's just get it out there, guys. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. It's like this. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Hey, man, we're just chopping it up, just talking a little AEW, talking a little WWE, talking a little sports and entertainment, wrestling, all of that. But like Brad said, guys, we got a new podcast. Podcast Heat going to be kicking off on Friday. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out. We got a couple of cool guests that's going to be a part of it. Tiffany Stratton will be stepping inside the Hall of Fame for her 5 minutes of fame, as well as Cedric, the entertainer, will be stepping inside the Hall of Fame. Talking about his new novel,
Flipping boxcars.
Flipping boxcars. Yeah, that's right. My bad on that. Flipping boxcars. And it's going to be good. It's going to be a good show. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to talk to Tiffany and to Cedric, the entertainer, man. I mean, I don't know about you, but Barbershop was one of the movies, both of them. I guess there's 3 of them.
Yeah,
I don't know if
Barbershop was a good movie, man. I saw 1.
Barbershop 1. Yeah. 1 is great. 1 is great.
Yeah,
2 is really
the best one. 2 was really good too.
Yeah, I think I saw the third one once. I think the third one has Nicki Minaj in it and Common, and like they
I gotta
changed the
see.
cast
I'm
up a
gonna
little.
go back and watch.
Oh, because it's got Nicki in it.
I
Nicki was looking good. She was looking good in it. Scotty.
did. She's Scotty, man. She's Scotty.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
She just,
100%.
I mean, she just let that butt get too big, man. I mean, it just got like, it just like ran away like a wildfire. Just got out of control.
It did. It got a little nuts, man.
I'm serious, man. Like, come on, man.
I think this barbershop movie came out like 20, maybe 14 or something like that. So back then it was chew it.
How can you contain a fire like that?
You can't, man. You can't.
Get you some Blue Chew.
That won't contain nothing. BlueChew.com, promo code Booker.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I was such a big fan of barbershop. Barbershop to me, I remember going with my friend back in the day to his barber shop and wanting to know, like, I wonder if there's gonna be like the movie. And it really was. It had that vibe of the movie and just people chopping on each other. And there was a guy sitting on the couch. I was there for an hour. This guy was there when I got there. I'm sitting on the couch just waiting for my friend to get his haircut. This guy was there talking, joking, laughing. He had a hat on, and that man did not get up off the couch the whole time. He was just there. He was just there to be there, hanging out.
That's the way the barbershop used to be, man. I used to go to this barbershop right there on MLK all the time back in the day, and it was my little spot until I started growing my hair. And but some of the stories, man, I just used to go there just to hang out, just for the stories, and then drive up down MLK Boulevard, with the top down. That was part of the routine as well. So it was a whole routine going into getting a haircut, So and all the boys had to be there, to talk about just telling lies, pretty much, what I mean, about the club.
Story.
What went down in the club last week, or if it was a good fight coming up, good fight that just went down. We got one coming up with Jamel Charlo and Canelo Alvarez later on this month on the 30th in Las Vegas, Nevada. Guys, you don't want to miss out. Don't get shut out on that. Brad and I will be out in Vegas covering that fight, so it's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it too, man. And just remember, next time y'all are in the need and you want to feel a little extra confident, you know what I mean? Chew it and do it. That's all you got to remember.
Chew it.
Chew it.
Do it. You got to say it. You got to say it like that. You know what I mean? In order for it to really, you got to, in order for it to really suck. Do it like that. You got to come from deep down.
Wait, one more time.
Do it.
You sound like Cartman from South Park. God, I don't know what you're doing over there, but I like it. It works. It works, man. But no, I'm really excited to talk to Cedric the Entertainer. And again, another guy who's trying to figure out how to transition, right? Like, hey, let me get out of. I'm not only going to always do comedy and comedic movies. I'm gonna write a novel. I mean, that's a big zag. It's not something I expected from him, man. And when you hear what the book's about and hear his connection to it, this is something that he really put his heart and soul into. So it's just awesome that he's doing that right now.
Sometimes, in life, you don't know, what you're going to do until you get to that curve, to that fork in the road. You just have to do it. One thing about this thing, like for, people like Cedric, people like myself, we're not getting any younger. But we still got a passion, we still got a passion, for life, still got a passion for, telling stories and still having fun at the same time. And that's what that comedian life is really all about, man. Telling those stories. The best jokes seem like they came straight from home, from when I was a kid, so it's going to be really awesome, to talk to, someone like Cedric who have, created his whole, career off of telling those stories, so it's going to be pretty awesome.
That's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it. We do have some super chats. I guess we can jump into if you're ready for them. Are we ready?
Let's do it.
All right, this is our first one of the day, and we're going to start off with Matthew Snyder. He said these wrestlers need to show more respect.
You know,
I
I
don't know
just
who he's referring to.
I kind of understand where he's coming from. I mean, the wrestler today is a lot different. I mean, there's no locker room leaders. There's no wrestlers court or anything like that. I was watching a spot on AEW where one guy did the Canadian Destroyer. He got right up and did the Canadian Destroyer on the other guy. Then got right back. He got right back up and did another Canadian Destroyer. And then the guy ducked something and then got hit with some kind of a power driver. And then the guy kicked out. It should be someone in the locker room saying, good God, guys. I mean, don't you know those guys got to come up after you guys and work? You guys going out there and just playing wrestler and just screwing up everything? Yes, somebody should be saying something about stuff like this. But there are no locker room leaders because anymore, because now if anybody say anything, they're a bully. If anybody say anything about somebody getting in shape, they're body shaming them. You know, so it's a different world now. But yes, it should be someone saying, look, man, you're killing the business is what you're doing. And there's guys that's going to want to be doing this 30 years from now, and they got to go out there and top that, because it's going to be hard to try to take the business backwards when you got guys going out here playing wrestler every single damn day. Bugs the crap out of me. And I want to say another word other than crap, but that's the only word I can use.
Because we are on the radio, you know. So
but I
no, I hear you, Book.
I wouldn't say it anyway.
No, I hear you. But to your point, and using all the moves and stuff, we were just talking about in the last segment, Chris Jericho. I read this story of Jericho talking about being at All In this last weekend, and or 2 weekends ago, I guess at this point. And he said that he was working out his match with Ospreay, and he wanted to do a Frankensteiner at one point during the match. And he said, man, I know, though, that Punk sometimes does a Frankensteiner in his matches. Let me go talk to him right before the match and make sure he's not doing it. So he goes and he talks to Punk, and he's like, hey, man, are you going to be doing the Frankensteiner? Yeah, I'm thinking about doing it in the match. Punk's like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then Jericho's like, oh, and by the way, I'm going to use your GTS as a finish. But he was just joking with him. He said Punk thought he was serious for a moment. But the point of using that story is that's like the old line of respect, right? Like, hey, like for Petey, if Petey Williams was on the show and he saw the guy doing 2 Canadian Destroyers in a row and kicking out, Petey's probably gonna be pretty hot about it, right?
Yeah, but I think that's not the point. The point is, you know, the respect thing. You know, respect meaning, you know, somebody come and tell you something and you just blow it off like it has no meaning, and like the guy's coming telling you that for no reason. It's a reason why the guy's telling you that, because he's trying to protect the business. I think that's what the question was, you know, more so than anything. So yeah, I believe in, you know, the respect. I believe in, you know, having generals in the locker room. I believe in the guys that came before me, that the carpenters that went out and did it in the blueprint, just like at a reality or wrestling show. If the first match go outside those 4 ropes, he's got a problem with me. All right, because it's the first match. We don't need that for the first match. It's a reason why we build the show to the main event. When you got everybody going out on the show thinking they're having a WrestleMania match when they've never been in WrestleMania and probably never will, it's no real reason for it. More than anything, it'll be a time and place for you to go out and have a certain match, but doing 3 Canadian Destroyers for no reason and a power bomb just to have a kick out just for, you know, this is awesome is ridiculous, and that's what wrestling is today.
I don't disagree with you. We have another super chat here. This is from Kappa Owens, who says, I'm going all in. Big time. Bex does 900,000. Shup.
It's gonna be old, dog. I'm gonna tell you right now. 900K. If they get 900K, that would be awesome. You know, if they get close to, you know, because I've been looking for NXT to get, you know, crack that million, you know, mark, you know, since I've been there. And hopefully we'll get closer to it, and hopefully this system that they're using right now help, you know, get us to that point also. And me personally, I love this system where guys are coming down and working with the young guys. Becky Lynch is going to have a time, of her life coming down, getting in the ring with young Tiffany Stratton and, showing her the ropes just a little bit, and trust me, I've been in that place once upon a time myself. And it's an awesome, awesome place to be in. But we got to take one more quick break. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Oh, yeah, man. Man, I missed that kid, Brendan Steen, man. He was one of my good kids, man. I swear, man, I missed that kid a lot, man. I was just talking about one of the commercials that we just looking at there. One of my kids from, back in the day of reality of wrestling. And I don't know, was on point, on track. And then, and sometime in this business, you just fall off. You just find, yourself in a spot, not making it fast enough, not getting it quick enough. And you just, totally fall off. And I've seen so many guys come through this business like that, want it, but just not willing to go through everything sometimes it takes to make it to that point, so, but, that's just the way life feels, I guess.
And Steen, it's funny that you said that because I was just talking about him yesterday to somebody from the show and just saying, man, that was one of my favorite guys. He had such a fun attitude, and he's from Louisiana. We all called him Jersey behind the scenes, but it's also one of my favorite stories of all time. Is he's got this new character. We're trying to come up with the name for him, and I've said it on the show before, but it still cracks me up every time because we're thinking of his name, trying to come up with a name the whole day. What about this? No. What about this? No. What about that? No. And Booker goes, wait a minute, I got it. I go, okay, what you got, Book? We'll call him James Kirk. And I go, wait a minute. Like Captain Kirk? You go, yeah. I'm like, we can't call him James Kirk. That's Star Trek. You go, and this is the line. This is the best line. He goes, nobody's going to remember that. Nobody's going to remember that.
James.
One of my favorites, man.
The championship name, though, right?
It is a championship name.
It's a championship.
We got some super chats to get through before we roll up out of here. This one comes from Big Breezo.
Super chat.
Just finished Kurt Angle's documentary. Book, you and him had a match on SmackDown for the World Heavyweight Championship. It was awesome, man.
Thanks, man. We had an awesome time working together. He was one of the guys that, next level wrestler, man. And he was one of those guys, if you didn't keep up with him, he was going to drown you. He was going to take you in deep waters, and he was going to do his best to drown you. And I was just worried about keeping up with Kurt Angle. And that was, my question to Kurt after we wrestled was, did I keep up with him? And he goes, bro, you about to pass me. So it was so awesome knowing that I could actually compete, with Kurt Angle. Really was an awesome time.
What was the move? There was some move that Kurt taught you, and an amateur move that you did in one of the matches y'all had with each other.
Yeah, it was our blow-off match. The last match Kurt and I had, we was doing the Angle, when he was stalking Charmel, and he had showed me this move in the back. It was called a speculated, and it was an Olympic move, and that was the move that I pinned Kurt Angle with in that match. And but the thing was, we still had probably 8 to 10 minutes left in that match, The referee just counted Kurt out, but he kicked out like right at the last second. But the referee still counted 1, 2, 3, and we both was real highly upset because that was the match we both thought we was going to be able to look back and say, man, this was one of the greatest matches that anybody ever had in the history of the business.
And then
Never happened.
ended up not going the way that you wanted.
Killed it.
Here's our next super chat. This is from Lady Wrestle Down. I guess they missed an announcement at the beginning of the show. How is Zilla Fatu's training going in reality wrestling? When can we expect his next match?
I think he's out there working on the indies, but Zilla Fatu has been future endeavored as far as reality of wrestling goes. He's no longer a part of reality of wrestling.
Yeah, unfortunate. Our next one comes from Callie Toenail.
And if you find the tenderoni that is right for you.
Oh yeah.
This is everyone didn't seem happy about Jay coming to Raw except Judgment Day. Do you think he'll be on top like on SmackDown, or will he fizzle out like Ricochet after his match with Logan Paul? Yeah, Jay Uso now a member of the Raw roster. They've separated the Usos. I think it's smart at this moment. I don't think they'll be separate forever. But what do you think? Will Jay fizzle out? I think main event Jay Uso's got a lot of juice behind him, man.
I don't see why would he fizzle out. I think sometimes the separation of a tag team, I think is good. One thing about those guys, they're twins. They can always rally back and circle back. But I think people are kind of happy seeing the Usos kind of like do this singles thing for a minute, especially Jay, and Jimmy's not doing bad himself. So for the growth of Jimmy and Jay, I think this is something that's needed.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing at all.
It's not the greatest thing in the world, but I don't think it's a bad thing at all.
Well, I think you separate them for a little while so that people, once you bring them together, they can wrestle at WrestleMania.
Exactly. And it's got to be a reason. It's got to be a reason. And it's got to be a reason where somebody's feeling some sympathy. Somebody got to feel it in their heart, in their gut. Is the reason why these two guys got back together. And when they do get back together, it's going to be like Goldie and Booker T. Somebody's going to be crying, man. Somebody's going to be shedding a tear. But let's go ahead and finish reading these super chats.
Let's see. Our next one here is from Kappa Owen, also a channel member. And by the way, we'll have some announcements for our channel members soon about the future of this show.
You don't mess with my little privates, man.
Or all of our little privates out there. Kappa Owen says, Booker and Brad, I might be Houston bound from Jacksonville in October. You guys ever heard of seismic immersive experience? Ever been? Also, one way or another, I'm getting a Trill Burger. I don't know what that is.
Seismic immersives, I guess that's something underwater, right?
I would imagine.
I'm immersive.
Or some kind of
I'm not sure. Immersive. What is immersive? What does that mean?
Like you're in the experience. Like it's an immersive experience. You're like in it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like kind of like submersive. It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. I'm not sure, man. I
don't know what that is.
I've never been there, but when you get to town, man, hit us up and let us know. We might show up. Never know.
We said what's immersive. No, we said what's immersive, and Callie Toenail in the chat goes, "That's Blue Chew."
That's what I was thinking. I swear to God, I start to say that myself.
Chew it and do it, man. Chew it and do it. Let's see. This comes from Shadow C.
Super
They said Edge wrestled Nick Wayne dad on Shotgun Saturday night. He might be a part of the storyline. I know Nick Wayne. By the way, I mean,
he wrestled Darby Allin last night. Did you see it?
I didn't see him work Darby. He worked Darby?
Yeah, he worked
Darby.
Darby
With Darby. Oh, okay. I didn't know
Darby last night. Yeah.
I didn't see that.
I got a chance to see it. It was kind of entertaining. Yeah.
Well, no, because I think Nick Wayne's a dad, I believe, is no longer with us. And Christian, Christian's so good in this role that he's in, man. He walked up to Nick Wayne and was like, "Hey, man, what did he say?" He said, "I want to apologize for the things I said about your father. I knew he was a wrestler, and I went back and watched some of his old matches, and he's much worse than I thought he was. and then and as he's walking out, he pulls the old, Biff Tannen from Back to the Future and goes, "Hey, Nick, say hi to your mom for me." And he just walking out. So good, Christian's great.
God. I love it, man. Yeah.
Christian's great, and God rest the dead, obviously, but I'm just saying it was just a funny moment. This is from Devin Stewart.
Super chat.
How would you assess your time on Howard Stern? That's right. You were on the Howard Stern show back in the day. I remember watching that live back when it happened. How do you assess your time on Howard Stern?
Well, I thought I did pretty good. They didn't screw around with me too much. I think everybody on the show was scared of me at that time.
They were frightened.
They put me in behind a glass wall because they scared I was going to just tear up everything. And I was pretty upset before I went on the show. But once I got on the show, I think I calmed down. But I think I did pretty good. I think I fared fairly well.
Yeah, because you had the John Melendez, got you at an autograph signing or off in the middle of the airport or something, and was trying to
Stuttering John. That's what that is.
John.
Yeah. But he wasn't stuttering the day I caught him. Yeah, and because he thought I was gonna rip his head off because I told him I was gonna rip his head off, and I said, "You ain't stuttering now. You're not stuttering now." He got so scared, man. Next thing you know, I got a phone call to be on Howard Stern just because I threatened to, Stuttering John threatened to kill him. And I remember that day so vivid because I had a migraine headache when he was asking me those stupid questions about the weakest link. Yeah, I remember it like it was yesterday.
Now, okay, so you went on Howard. Have you ever watched your appearance? Have you ever seen it?
I think I have, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when you were coming on the show back in the day, and I remember Howard, Gary Delabate, Baba Booey, who's the producer over there, was like, "Howard, you got to look at this guy. He's massive. Like, if he's in here, he's going to kill John. He's going to kill him."
I was pretty jacked up back then.
and that's why they took Robin Quivers, who's normally in the booth where you were. They took her out of the booth, put her on the couch for the guest host, and put you behind the glass.
Yeah. They were
worried you were going to kill them.
Yeah. So I think I did pretty good.
Yeah.
To work myself on the Howard Stern, I think I did pretty good. Let me know that I was on the right track.
King of all media, man. We have three more, so we'll get through them real quick here. Callie Tona, how do you guys feel about cancel culture and people being so sensitive? Comedians can't even tell raw jokes anymore. I love racial, handicap, LGBTQ jokes, Def Jam. The irreverent humor seems to be up Callie Toenail's bag.
No, it sucks. It really sucks that we can't, have fun anymore.
I think we're coming around, though.
Well,
I think there's a tide turning.
Well, I mean, hopefully, people having their feelings hurt about jokes is, we're definitely in a certain place where it is cancel culture, where it is, just screwing up people's livelihoods. But that's just what we are in the world today. That's just what we are. But hopefully we, like you say, will come around. Hopefully, and I'm waiting on that day.
Just jokes, man. They're just jokes. Big Dog Inc. said, "What up, Book? Hey, Brad, big fan. How do?
Oh.
How do you do, I guess."
Give you a salute.
What up, Big Dog?
You don't mess with my little privates, man.
Oh.
And then our last one is from Kappa Owens. Booker Brad, how do y'all feel about Jimmy and Jay's new entrances?
I didn't really pay too much attention to it, to be honest. What about you, Brad?
The music's dope. I like the music.
Music's dope. I mean, it's got the same feel, even though it's not, the norm. It's still got the same feel. It's still rapish, right?
Well, one of theirs is the same song, but just remixed a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that's Jimmy's song. Is still
maybe that's why I didn't even notice the difference.
Yeah,
but it's not something that I really paid a whole lot of attention to be honest. I'm not gonna lie about it.
Yeah. I mean, and then they'll evolve over time. But Book, those are all our super chats for this show, and I think we gotta send them on home, right?
Man, it's time to get up out of here, man. I'm not even gonna go to the beach this weekend. I'm sticking around the house. Get a little wine, a little cheese, man, a little woman. hang out on the patio on the deck. You know what I mean? You know, jacuzzi, everything. Blue Chew. Get the Blue Chew ready, man. Strap it on straight to the moon. But it's gonna be good. But we got to get up out of here right now, man. I want to thank everybody for hanging out inside the Hall of Fame. Get your champagne with you. Caviar Dreams, Brad, as always. Thanks for the heavy lifting, man. It's, you know, I couldn't do it without you. But like I always say, guys, same place, same time next week, right here inside the Hall of Fame. We love you.